My wife announced, "Our marriage is a joke. You are too fat, and I am taking the kids." I simply waited for her to finish, then showed her the paternity test results I received last week. She was shocked to learn that neither child was mine, and the biological fathers were now subpoenaed. That revelation led to her complete legal betrayal and financial ruin. Don't miss the twist. Subscribe and be part of the journey. I, Elias, age 39, male, had been with Vivian, age 36, for 11 years. I worked as a quantitative analyst for a large, established hedge fund based in Dallas, Texas. My salary was substantial, $325,000 per year, plus yearly bonuses. Vivian was a self-employed interior designer and successful lifestyle blogger. Her income fluctuated significantly, averaging $75,000 annually. Our combined income was $400,000, which afforded us a very comfortable existence. We lived in a $2,100,000 modern house in the exclusive Highland Park neighborhood. I drove a practical electric Rivian R1S for family errands. Vivian insisted on driving a sleek, luxury Porsche Cayenne for her client meetings. We rarely went out, preferring quiet, expensive dinner parties with Vivian's design clients. Our social circle felt dictated entirely by Vivian's professional aspirations and image. In late January, a monumental career opportunity arrived that I had quietly pursued for months. I was offered the position of head of global risk, modeling for a prestigious investment bank. The firm was headquartered in Zurich, Switzerland. The package was precisely what I had worked toward my entire professional life. It included a base salary of $625,000. Additionally, they offered a generous annual living stipend of $150,000. The entire contract was guaranteed for 3 years, valuing the total annual cash compensation at $775,000. I brought the detailed offer letter home one evening, prepared for a serious discussion. Vivian was reviewing fabric samples for a new client project in the living room. I presented the offer details clearly. "This is a massive professional elevation," I explained calmly. "It moves us to Switzerland for 3 years." I continued, stating the logistical reality. Vivian did not look up from her swatch books, her focus entirely elsewhere. She answered dismissively, "Europe is too provincial for my client base, Elias. This job is highly prestigious and incredibly lucrative." I stated the facts precisely. She finally glanced at the contract, but her eyes quickly returned to her samples. Head of Global Risk, a dry and very boring title. It represents leadership and tremendous financial stability. I answered, keeping my tone steady. "Your quantitative work is always so dull, Elias," she said, her voice dripping with disdain. She added sharply, "No one cares about numbers in the design world." Her constant mocking of my specialized high-income profession solidified my resolve. Update 1. I accepted the Zurich offer immediately the following morning, the decision feeling correct and liberating. My start date was set for the last day of April, giving me 3 months to execute my meticulous transition plan. I began preparing for the move without involving Vivian in any specific details. I kept the contract information in a separate, encrypted folder on my computer. Vivian continued her pattern of dismissive comments, often repeating them to our mutual friends. "Elias is going through a pathetic mid-life crisis," she told her friend, Olivia, over the phone. Olivia's husband, Marcus, was my coworker at the hedge fund. Marcus seemed uncomfortable with Vivian's negativity, but never challenged her. "Zurich is a cold, boring place for a professional woman," Vivian frequently lamented to anyone who listened. Our friends, Marcus and Olivia, clearly sided with Vivian, praising her vibrant career. Olivia openly questioned my commitment to our shared social standing in Dallas. "Why would you leave this beautiful home, Elias?" Olivia asked once. "Professional growth requires movement." I answered simply. I initiated a series of private, tactical preparations. I established a new, private bank account with a Swiss institution, transferring substantial savings, and ensuring it was inaccessible to Vivian. I began apartment hunting in Zurich's desirable Inge district, securing a spacious, high-end rental near the lake. I also discreetly sold my Rivian R1S to a private buyer for cash, minimizing transactional visibility. This cash was deposited directly into the new Swiss account. I transferred all my retirement and brokerage accounts to a new institution, updating the beneficiary to my sister, Dahlia. I knew I was preparing for a separation, not just a relocation. I engaged the services of a family law specialist, Kenji Tanaka, a man known for his calm, tactical approach to high, net worth divorce cases. Kenji confirmed the need for absolute documentation and quiet preparation. Update 2. I officially announced my final decision to Vivian during a Sunday afternoon at home. She was organizing her design mood boards in the home office. I walked in, shut the door quietly, and faced her across the large, modern desk. I am moving to Zurich at the end of April, I stated with absolute finality. Vivian's reaction was immediate and dramatic. Her face drained of color as the reality set in. That is not a decision you make alone, Elias. I have already signed the contract. I responded. The decision is executed. The confrontation quickly turned into a one-sided interrogation, though I remained composed and factual. She demanded to know the specific salary and contract duration. I provided only the most basic, necessary information. You are destroying 11 years of partnership, she accused me loudly. You frequently mock my profession and life choices, I countered calmly. She launched into the predictable ultimatum, a final attempt to seize control of the situation. If you leave this city, you will get nothing from the house, she declared. You must choose your pathetic numbers job or me, she concluded, her voice rising. I looked at her steadily, allowing the silence to punctuate my quiet choice. I chose my career and my sense of self, respect without any hesitation. I choose the growth and opportunity presented, I replied, my voice level. Then I will divorce you and destroy your reputation, she replied sharply. That is your prerogative, I said, acknowledging her statement without emotion. Update 3. The fallout over the next several weeks was a methodical study in manipulative behavior. Vivian cycled through every expected stage of emotional distress, just as Kenji Tanaka had predicted. She initially displayed intense, focused anger, smashing a porcelain vase I had bought on a trip. You are abandoning your family for money, she accused me repeatedly. I am securing my future and stability, I responded factually. She transitioned to bargaining, promising to change her attitude about my work entirely. She even offered to try learning the German language for the move. We can still make this work, Elias, she pleaded, adopting a softer tone. The time for partnership has passed, I told her, maintaining distance. Her final and longest phase was absolute denial, a convenient refusal to acknowledge the physical reality of my move. She refused to discuss the house sale or the division of personal property. She continued planning Dallas-based design projects well into the summer months. Her denial meant I could finalize all my logistical plans with minimal obstruction. I maintained my calm, analytical detachment throughout the entire process. My responses were brief and focused solely on the necessity of the final dates. My emotional state was one of quiet, determined focus. The 11-year relationship felt less like a loss and more like a significant logistical problem that was nearing resolution. Moving day arrived with a sense of immense, almost surreal quiet. I had contracted a specialized international shipping company. They efficiently packed and crated my personal books, professional equipment, and a small amount of furniture. Vivian was conspicuously absent. She had flown to New York City for a high-profile design summit, choosing professional visibility over managing the end of our marriage. I left a brief, formal note stating that the house was being listed for sale immediately. I boarded my flight with a singular, focused sense of forward motion. My first detailed view of my new life in Zurich, Switzerland, was one of impeccable order and efficiency. My apartment in the Inge district was bright, clean, and overlooked the serene water of Lake Zurich. The city felt stable and mature, a refreshing change from the sprawling ambition of Dallas. My new office, located in the corporate center, was a monument to Swiss precision and global finance. My work was complex, demanding, and aligned perfectly with my specialized skills. The job was immediately stimulating. Update 4. I was thriving in the new professional and social environment. The work as head of global risk modeling was challenging and required constant intellectual engagement. I quickly established a reputation for calm, logical problem solving within the firm. Socially, I embraced the expatriate community and the local culture. I began taking intensive German classes and hiking frequently in the nearby Swiss Alps. I met a new circle of friends, including a fellow quant from London and a local Swiss architect. Financially, the jump to $775,000 in annual cash was transformative. I was investing aggressively and had begun planning for my first real estate purchase in Zurich. I replaced the Rivian with a quiet, high-performance, all-electric Audi e-tron, which handled the mountain roads effortlessly. My lifestyle was now focused on quiet, high-quality experiences and financial growth, not social posturing. By late September, 6 months into the role, I achieved my first critical milestone. I led a team that successfully implemented a new, highly complex risk assessment model. This resulted in significant capital savings for the bank in the third quarter. I received a prompt, substantial mid-year performance bonus of $40,000. This bonus confirmed my value to the organization. The first whispers from Vivian's old network began reaching me soon after. Olivia, our old friend, sent a hesitant email, claiming she was checking in. "I hope the numbers work is keeping you busy," she wrote vaguely. "The work is complex and absorbing," I replied, keeping the details sparse. Marcus, my former coworker, also reached out with a more direct query. "I heard the Zurich job is a huge deal, Elias. It is a significant professional opportunity." I answered, reserved and professional. They were all clearly curious about the scale of my financial success. I remained polite but ensured all my responses were entirely reserved. I offered no emotional vulnerability or specific data points. I was a closed system to my past. Update 5. In early November, I received significant professional recognition that made my success undeniable. I was featured in an article in a major international banking journal. The piece highlighted my leadership in global risk modeling and detailed the innovative new model my team had implemented. The article explicitly mentioned the scale and importance of my position, confirming the head of global risk modeling title. Vivian learned the full, non-negotiable truth about my status through this public exposure. The article was shared widely through professional circles, eventually landing in her social feed. She saw definitive, external proof of the job's gravity and financial weight, a reality she had mocked and dismissed. She sent a flurry of messages, her tone swinging from confusion to intense outrage. "You deliberately minimized that job to me," she claimed furiously. "I provided the title and salary accurately. I responded with factual clarity. You should have negotiated less money for me to agree," she argued illogically. "I negotiated based on my market value," I stated simply. I did not engage in the emotional debate, only correcting her factual misrepresentations. Marcus, my former coworker, called me directly and apologized profusely. He admitted that Vivian had convinced both him and Olivia that my job was a desperate, lateral failure. She told us the salary was only $200,000. Marcus confessed. "That was inaccurate data," I replied. My sister, Dahlia, contacted me instantly after reading the article. She confirmed that my decision to secure my professional future was the only correct choice I could have made. My family's acknowledgement provided quiet validation for my analytical plan. Update 6. Vivian flew to Zurich unannounced in January, ostensibly for a fleeting design inspiration trip. She called me from a local hotel and requested a meeting to discuss the house logistics. I agreed to meet her at a busy cafe in the city center. I chose the location for its high foot traffic and limited privacy. She opened the conversation by attempting to present a completely new version of herself. She claimed she had been attending self-improvement seminars. "I have changed my priorities entirely, Elias," she insisted, looking earnest. "What is the evidence of this change?" I asked directly. "I see the importance of your work now," she continued, her voice soft and measured. I maintained my calm, referring only to her documented past actions and public behavior. "You mocked my fitness and my career publicly," I reminded her. I also referred to her recent social media posts, which featured several large, expensive, designer shopping bags. Your posts suggest continued focus on luxury spending, I noted. She then insisted on returning to the marriage, suggesting a temporary trial period in Zurich. I want to come back home to you, she stated, attempting intimacy. I declined the offer calmly and with absolute finality. I explained that the emotional and contractual window for reconciliation had closed entirely. The relationship is permanently terminated. I stated the facts. I can be a better wife now, she insisted. I have already moved forward successfully, I replied, ending the interaction. Update 7. Vivian quickly moved to a period of aggressive, disorganized retaliation after her visit failed. She initiated a legal threat, claiming I had concealed assets related to the Dallas house sale. Her lawyer, a junior practitioner, sent a threatening letter demanding a revised financial settlement. My lawyer, Kenji Tanaka, managed the attack with swift, surgical precision. Kenji produced my documented records, which demonstrated every transaction was fully disclosed and legal. He exposed several misrepresentations in Vivian's claim, including her failure to account for significant personal debt. The legal claim was withdrawn within 1 week due to its lack of factual merit. The cost of Kenji's efficient management was negligible compared to the potential loss. Online, Vivian attempted to spread malicious rumors about my professional conduct on various social platforms. She claimed I was only promoted due to a personal connection and not competence. She used coded language to suggest I was unfit for the high-level position. Her online claims failed miserably and quickly. 2 of our mutual friends, Marcus and Olivia, publicly contradicted her. Marcus posted an unambiguous statement confirming my long history of specialized competence at the hedge fund. Olivia posted a comment confirming that Vivian had known the true high-end salary from the original documentation, but chose to dismiss it. Vivian's narrative of betrayal collapsed, and her credibility was entirely destroyed by her own network. Update 8. 1 year later, my life was stable, highly prosperous, and characterized by genuine contentment. My net worth had increased by over 40% since moving to Zurich. I was now deeply committed to a new partner, Sophie. Sophie was a brilliant, trilingual corporate attorney who worked for an international firm in Geneva. Our relationship was based on mutual respect, intellectual compatibility, and complete honesty. She understood the demands of a high-level professional career. In late August, a few days after my 40th birthday, Vivian sent a final, short message. It was a brief text message to my old, but still active, American number. I deeply regret how things ended. The text read, I hope you can forgive my enormous mistake. She wrote, clearly looking for a response. I acknowledged her message with a short, polite reply that emphasized distance and finality. I wish you well in your ongoing pursuits. I responded simply. I immediately blocked the number and continued my planned weekend trip with Sophie to the Italian lakes. The past was an irrelevant footnote in my expanding life narrative. Final update. The following spring, I was speaking at a professional finance conference in London. During the closing reception, I was approached by a distinguished woman named Mrs. Evelyn Reed. Evelyn Reed was a renowned international interior designer and had been Vivian's career mentor for years. She was the authority figure Vivian had always strived to impress. Evelyn apologized to me immediately, her expression serious. I need to apologize for Vivian's destructive behavior, Elias. She admitted her own mistakes in encouraging Vivian's belief in superficial social currency. She confessed that she had often overlooked Vivian's shallow judgments of others' professions. I wrongly taught her that external image was everything. Evelyn stated, I regret not emphasizing intellectual substance. She added honestly. I accepted her apology, recognizing her genuine remorse for her part in shaping Vivian's misguided values. I explained that her acknowledgement was appreciated, but not necessary for my personal peace. I stated that my actions were always driven by logical self-preservation, not retribution. My reflection confirmed the direct life lesson I had learned. Never allow another person's self-serving narrative to define the factual reality of your own value. I moved past the betrayal by calmly increasing my wealth and professional standing to an indisputable level. The quiet, logical closure came from knowing I was right, not from seeing her suffer.